Well, News 12 Long Island's Andrew Enger is in Texas. Today he was with some Long Islanders on the New York City Urban Search and Rescue Task Force.
1, 2, 3, go.
They brought boats, specialized equipment, and supplies all the way from New York to help those stranded by Hurricane Harvey's floodwaters.
You want to stay or do you want to leave?
Members of the New York City Urban Search and Rescue Task Force fanned out through Sweeney, Texas, about 70 miles south of Houston. The waters here flooding many homes and stranding some.
There's a whole subdivision down there, at least 13 or 14 homes that everybody's still in.
The task force is made up of highly trained members of the NYPD, FDNY, and EMS. And Kenneth Hunter was glad to see them.
Never in my wildest dream I imagined all this raised up like this.
His 64-year-old mother was having breathing problems after being stuck in their home without electricity for 5 days and the water rising. He called for help, not knowing it would come from a team of New Yorkers.
Beautiful, it's beautiful. I highly appreciate it, man. I highly appreciate it.
Kind of not the accent you expected when they knocked on your door, right?
Yeah, yes, sir.
But not everyone was so pleased to see the rescuers.
Okay, we'll leave.
Now, in some cases, homeowners here don't want to go and would prefer to shelter in place, so the task force is moving on.
We can't make them leave, but we can certainly offer assistance and see if they want to go.
Though the water conditions were calm this day, in other parts of Sweeney on Wednesday, fast-moving waters trapped a farmer in his tractor. The task force deployed their boats and was able to rescue the man.
His only concern was how much it was going to cost him. We said, don't worry, for free on New York, don't worry.
In Sweeney, Texas, Andrew Enger, News 12.
Well, a bomb took both of his legs, but that hasn't stopped the Iraq veteran from honoring a hero who died on 9/11. I, along with photojournalist Doug Cunningham, went along with the veteran from Holbrook as he made a hero's journey at this year's Tunnel to Towers run. It's 5 a.m. at the Marriott Hotel in New York City. Chris Levy has a big day ahead of him. He's getting ready for the race of a lifetime. But he says this is not a race he needs to win. It's one that will instead show his endurance despite his disability. Levy, a wounded military vet from Holbrook, will test his physical limits as he walks 3 miles through the Brooklyn Battery Tunnel in what's known as the Tunnel to Towers run. 2,400 West Point cadets line the route. As they run through the tunnel, the cheering gets louder.
You can't explain the feeling of like seeing them run by and them chanting in unison, and it's it's awesome.
This is the same tunnel that determined New York City firefighter Steven Siller raced through with 60 pounds of gear on his back and gave his life trying to save others on 9/11. Levy followed a similar call to duty, but his journey led him to the battlefield. In March of 2008, the Army corporal lost both his legs when a pipe bomb blew up near his Humvee in Iraq.
I figured as long as I fought to stay alive, they would do everything they could to keep me alive.
After years of rehab, Chris is now one of thousands who are following Siller's footsteps through the tunnel.
Way to go, well done, nice job.
In what could be the most emotional part of the race is when Chris comes out of the tunnel. Here he's greeted by first responders who wear the pictures of the 343 fallen firefighters who lost their lives on 9/11. And when it's hard for Chris to push through, it's the cheers and the applause he gets along the way that get him through this.
Nice job.
As Chris nears the finish line,
Awesome job. Thank you for being here.
he says it's certainly not the end of his mission to remember the sacrifices made by first responders on 9/11.
She inspired generations of musicians, and tonight her students came out to say thanks. Dr. Melinda Edwards. News 12's Rich Barabi was on the story, and it's a story you'll see only on 12.
Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah.
On a Saturday night in Mineola, Dr. Melinda Edwards leads her choir.
Art and music are what make us human.
These are not professional singers, at least not most of them. They are students. These adults are just some of the children that Dr. Edwards taught and inspired from the mid-1960s to the mid-90s as the chorus teacher at Baldwin High School.
She opened up my love of music. I'm a musician now.
Her surprise party this evening turned into a concert, a reunion too, a love fest of sorts for a retired teacher who knew she had had an impact, but not like this.
There has never been a better choir director.
It's just overwhelming. I mean, it just brought tears to my eyes. I can't believe how many of my wonderful students showed up for this.
When I'm feeling the sick, when I'm feeling the sick, ain't got time to die.
Over 100 of her former students traveled from more than 10 states to be here. They say she taught them how to hit the high note in music and in life.
Lessons about self-discipline and responsibility and always trying to strive for your best.
Every day I use what she taught me. Every day.
You can do it if you try. You can do it if you try.
The lessons have endured, and so has the music.
I don't have words for it. It's really emotional for me.
The folks here say this proves one thing: great teachers and great music can make all the difference. In Mineola, Rich Barabi, News 12, Long Island. July 16th, 1973, Linden Place in Glen Head is featured in Newsday. The article's title, "There's a Road Under the Pond." 44 years later, the road is still here, and so is the pond.
The water is too disgusting for anybody to swim in now.
Nobody's jumping in.
Nobody's jumping in. Nobody even wants to walk through with their bare feet to get to the street.
Nobody is walking, nobody is jumping, and no one is laughing either. Rob Kralik says every time there's a heavy downpour, the pond returns. And if you don't have an SUV, you're probably not leaving the house. That was again the case for Rob and many of his neighbors on this dead-end road today.
A funeral, 2 people missed work, and grandparents missed their grandson's 4th birthday party.
Feel trapped.
Yeah, that's it.
So why does this keep happening? Well, Linden Place is an Oyster Bay Town road. Its cross street, Glen Cove Avenue, is a Nassau County road. The residents say the rainwater runs off of the county road and onto their town road.
The county says that Linden Place is a town road. They're not responsible. Matter of fact, that's what they said when we called before. The town says that the water is county water, and they've been arguing like children over this for the last 30 years.
Now, neighbors say what you're looking at here is the result some 3 hours after the rain ended. And as you can see, you don't see any type of bubbling or other signs that this water is actually going to filter out anywhere. Finally, though, a town crew has now arrived at the scene.
Yeah, they come and they pump, but this is the first time they've been here this year to pump.
Oyster Bay town officials say a new drainage system was installed here about 5 years ago. But as you can see, it doesn't appear to be working very well.
It all has to be redone. They have to redesign the whole thing again.
Meanwhile, 44 years after the Linden Place pond made the paper, Rob says, quite frankly,
we're getting tired of it.
In Glen Head, Rich Barabi, News 12, Long Island.
Well, an early Christmas gift for you Islanders hockey fans. The NHL team is coming home. News 12 Long Island's Erin Colton with the latest from Belmont Park.
Yeah, no, I'm not happy about this at all or anything, being an Islanders fan. But yes, just moments ago, the governor officially announced it. The Islanders are coming back. They will play in a new arena here at Belmont Park. And to put it in his words, the Islanders are back where they belong. Just take a look at this room, packed with people for this announcement here at Belmont Racetrack today. Hundreds of community members and fans. Arena Partners is the company who won the state bid to build the new arena at Belmont Park, featuring that new 18,000-seat year-round arena, 435,000 square feet of retail space, and a new hotel. Also announced today, this project will create 12,300 union construction jobs on Long Island and also 3,100 permanent jobs after everything's finished. Governor Cuomo said this development is a win for Long Island, but also a major win for the Islanders team and their fans.
Today is a win-win-win. It is a win for the community, it is a big win for the fans, and it is a win for the team. They're going to have their own arena, 18,000-seat arena that is designed for the Islanders, by the Islanders, and it's going to be all theirs. I think it's going to help the team. I believe attendance is going to increase. I believe the passion is going to increase.
And so many people on hand here for the announcement. Billy Joel was here, Islanders captain John Tavares, among other Islanders, of course, Andrew Cuomo and Islander owner John Ledecky. They also announced the MTA does plan to open the Belmont LIRR stop year-round, so Isles fans will be able to take the train, the LIRR, to their games. And then also an announcement that got probably the biggest applause is that there may be in the works for the Islanders to play some of their remaining home games, supposed to be played at the Barclays Center at the Nassau Coliseum. Well, just to get the fans extra excited. Lots to come here at Belmont Park. That's where we are today. Erin Colton, News 12 Long Island.
Fired up to see the Isles return to the old barn. The Isles playing their first game at the Coliseum since April 25th of 2015. It was a grand homecoming. News 12's Kevin Marr there to take it all in, and he's got a lot of those fans hanging out there with him today. Kev?
Yeah, Kev, they're still here. We got the band back together. We got Islander fans. We have the Islanders. We had the Coliseum. And I heard this chant. I've heard this one before. Let's go Islanders! And for the first time ever, we heard this one.
Bring them back! Bring them back! Bring them back! Bring them back!
Welcome back, Islanders! We love our team. We want them home.
Today, the fans made that loud and clear.
Yes, yes, yes!
Who says he can't go home? John Bon Jovi said it, and now we're all saying it!
Making the new Coliseum feel like the old barn again.
We've waited 2 years for this day. Hockey lives on Long Island.
It just feels like I'm a kid again.
I'm going to tell you, it feels like lipstick on a pig.
That's because the Islanders were back only for a day, greeted by a sold-out crowd who wants them out of the Barclays Center and back on Long Island for good.
Brooklyn doesn't compare to this, you know? And this is something we all want as fans, and we want them back here.
To have them back today means everything to us.
What's the message maybe these fans are sending to the NHL by packing this place on a lazy Sunday?
Bring the Islanders back where they belong, on Long Island.
But the NHL says that's never going to happen, and there are no more games scheduled at the Coliseum after today. So Mike from Malvern figured if you can't bring them back, just don't let them leave.
There's no reason that this team should ever have left here. There's no reason that they should ever leave again. This is their home. Listen to the crowd. You know it. You know this is our home. Everybody knows this is our home. No more baloney. Let us come home and stay there.
Trades, self-employed. Unfortunately, Mike from Malvern was unsuccessful. The Islanders did leave the building. Maybe one day they'll be back. The chance maybe they work, and if that doesn't work, look at Christopher. Christopher, how much do you want the Islanders back? Give him puppy dog eyes. Oh, if the NHL doesn't bite on that, I don't know what they're biting on. Good job, everybody. Let's go Islanders for the rest of the season. In Uniondale, Kevin Marr, News 12 Long Island.
We were all over the island today monitoring the road conditions. Our last stop here in Farmingdale, and as you can see, the first snowfall of the season didn't stop some people from coming out this Saturday night.
We had plans tonight. We didn't cancel them.
Joanne Ryan and her husband Tom are just some of the many people who decided to head to Main Street in Farmingdale. She says she wasn't worried about getting behind the wheel.
We've been around all day. We were driving around. It was fine.
Denise Vachon and her son decided to venture out in the snow to satisfy an ice cream craving.
We're coming out for Sundays tonight.
Even though it's snowing?
It's okay. What a better night.
Over in Suffolk, the snow didn't stop some people from driving around either. Brian and Lenora Flaherty of Ronkonkoma were prepared for the snow. They hit the streets in this truck. Where are you headed?
Cut down a Christmas tree. Head out east.
So the snow didn't stop you from getting your Christmas tree today?
No, not at all.
I think it made it more
Just made it better.
Suffolk officials say they were prepared for the weather as well. The county has nearly 100 pieces of highway snow removal equipment out on the roads and about 17,000 tons of salt on hand. Suffolk's Police Chief Stuart Cameron says the department is equipped with special vehicles, including SUVs and Humvees.
Some of our highway patrol sector cars are now larger SUVs that are not only all-wheel drive, they have the capability going into four-wheel drive and four-wheel drive low.
Ma'am, I'm still on the line. And Chief Cameron says Suffolk's Communications Center is ready to facilitate any weather-related 911 calls.
Some of the things we could expect as the weather unfolds is obviously additional motor vehicle crashes. And then as people start to go out and clear the snow, there could be 80 cases, people getting hurt from shoveling, people having cardiac events. And, you know, we do occasionally have incident with snow blowers.
Back in Farmingdale, Vashon offers this advice for anyone thinking of hitting the roads on this snowy Saturday.
Drive careful, be safe, enjoy your families, and enjoy what's around you.
And maybe even get some ice cream.
Mm-hmm. It's a great night to get ice cream.
Now, I called Nassau and Suffolk Police, and at last check, officials with both departments say police have not responded to any significant weather-related accidents. Reporting in Farmingdale, I'm Talia Kaplan, News 12 Long Island.